Alex Palmer gripped his seat as the small survey craft jolted through the planet's turbulent atmosphere. He was a lieutenant on the exploration vessel Odyssey, and what had begun as a routine scan had quickly turned into something far more interesting. "Captain, I'm picking up energy readings unlike anything in our database," he reported, eyes fixed on the flickering displays. "Get closer, but maintain safe distance," Captain Rogers ordered from the Odyssey in orbit. "We need better readings before committing the main vessel." The uncharted planet below them seemed ordinary at first glance, blue-green continents separated by dark oceans. But the instruments told a different story. Something about this world was unique. Before Alex could respond, warning lights flooded the cabin. The craft shuddered violently. "System failure. We're losing control," shouted Kelly, the pilot beside him. Her hands flew across the controls, trying to stabilize their descent. "Odyssey, we have an emergency," Alex called into his communicator. "Unknown interference with our systems. Preparing for emergency landing." Static was the only reply. The craft plummeted through cloud layers, spinning as Kelly fought for control. At the last possible moment, she managed to level their descent enough to avoid a fatal crash. They hit the surface hard, skidding across rocky terrain before coming to a stop near a dense line of alien vegetation. Alex regained consciousness slowly, the taste of blood in his mouth. Kelly lay slumped over her controls, but he could see her breathing. Two other crew members in the back of the craft were stirring, groaning with pain. "Everyone stay calm," Alex said, unbuckling himself. "Kelly needs medical attention. Jones, check our communication systems. Rivera, assess damage to the engines." After ensuring Kelly was stable, Alex stepped outside to survey their surroundings. The air was breathable but carried strange scents, something metallic mixed with sweet decay. The violet-tinged vegetation around them seemed to pulse slightly, as if breathing. He activated his personal scanner. Fascinating. These plants contain compounds similar to nerve toxins found on Rigel 7. Everything here seems designed to kill. A sudden movement caught his eye. Something large had shifted in the dense growth about 50 meters away. Alex froze, hand moving slowly to his sidearm. "Lieutenant," Jones called from the craft. "Communications are down. Something in the atmosphere is blocking signals. We're cut off from the Odyssey." Before Alex could respond, a sound like tearing metal filled the air. From the vegetation emerged a creature unlike anything in human records. It stood nearly 3 meters tall, with a sleek, midnight black body that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. 6 limbs moved with perfect coordination, 4 powerfully built legs, and 2 upper limbs ending in what appeared to be articulated claws. Its head featured no visible eyes, but multiple sensory pits lined what might be its face. Row upon row of crystalline teeth gleamed in its partly open mouth. Alex recognized it immediately from xenobiology briefings. A voidfang, the apex predator feared across 3 galactic quadrants, the species responsible for the massacre of entire colonies on the frontier worlds. No human had ever survived a close encounter with one. "Nobody move," Alex whispered into his communicator. "We have company. Stay in the ship." The voidfang tilted its head, examining Alex with sensory organs humans didn't fully understand. Instead of attacking, it remained still, observing. Alex's translator device hummed to life, attempting to decode the low-frequency sounds the creature was making, but quickly sparked and died. He was on his own. In a move that defied every safety protocol, Alex slowly lowered his weapon. Something about the creature's posture didn't match the aggressive stances described in the reports. It seemed curious. "I don't know if you can understand me," Alex said softly, "but we mean no harm." The voidfang extended one upper limb, mimicking Alex's gesture of lowering his weapon. As darkness fell on the alien world, human and predator watched each other under unfamiliar stars, neither willing to attack, neither willing to retreat. An impossible understanding was taking root, one that would soon challenge everything the galaxy thought it knew about the universe's most feared species. 3 days had passed since the crash. Alex sat outside the damaged survey craft, examining the emergency beacon. Its central circuitry was completely fried. "This isn't good," he said to Rivera, who was attempting to repair their communication systems. "We're looking at weeks before anyone realizes we missed check-in and sends a rescue team." Their immediate survival wasn't in question. The craft's emergency supplies would last a month, and scans had confirmed several nearby water sources were safe for consumption. The real problem waited at the edge of the clearing. The voidfang that Alex had named Shadow. The creature had not left. Each morning, Alex would emerge from the craft to find Shadow watching from the same spot, its sleek body blending with the violet foliage. The other crew members wanted to drive it away, but Alex refused. "It could have killed us already," he argued. "Something's different about this one." On the 4th morning, Alex found Shadow gone. A mixture of relief and strange disappointment washed over him. But by midday, the creature returned, dragging the carcass of a large herbivore. It dropped the kill at the edge of the clearing and retreated several steps. "I think it's bringing us food," Kelly said, now recovered enough to move around the ship. Alex approached the carcass cautiously. His scanner confirmed the meat was free of toxins harmful to humans. "It's safe to eat, though I wouldn't call it delicious." That evening, as the crew cooked portions of the alien meat, Shadow crept closer than ever before. In the firelight, Alex noticed something he'd missed: a deep wound on the creature's side, oozing a dark blue fluid. "It's injured," he whispered, against the frantic objections of his crew. Alex gathered medical supplies and slowly approached Shadow. The voidfang tensed, but did not retreat. "Easy now," Alex murmured. "I just want to help." With trembling hands, he applied antiseptic and a synthetic healing patch to the wound. Shadow remained perfectly still, its sensory pits focused on Alex's every move. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. He accessed the ship's database on his personal device, reading everything available about voidfangs. The information was sparse and terrifying. Accounts of lightning-fast attacks, of entire outposts found empty except for blood. No one had ever reported peaceful contact. Yet here was Shadow, bringing them food. Over the next week, a routine developed. Shadow would bring food and sit closer to the humans each day. Alex noticed the creature seemed to understand their basic gestures. When he pointed to objects, Shadow's attention would follow his finger. On the 10th day, a storm hit. Violent purple lightning split the sky and torrential rain pounded the clearing. The temperature plummeted. Inside the craft, the heating system struggled. "We're losing power," Jones reported grimly. "Core battery is nearly depleted." They huddled together for warmth as the temperature inside the craft dropped. Then came a strange scratching at the door. Alex opened it to find Shadow, who made an urgent gesture with its upper limbs. Without fully understanding why, Alex followed the creature to a cave system a kilometer away. The rest of the crew followed reluctantly, bringing essential supplies. The caves were warm, heated by some underground thermal activity. They discovered the remains of a campsite, not human, but clearly artificial. "Someone else was here," Kelly whispered. "Another species." That night, as the others slept, Alex noticed Shadow producing a series of complex subsonic rumbles. His damaged translator occasionally caught fragments. "Danger, safety, together." "You're trying to talk to me, aren't you?" Alex asked quietly. Shadow extended one limb toward him, almost touching his face before pulling back. "We've been wrong about your kind," Alex said. "All this time, we never tried to understand." Outside, the storm raged on, but in the cave, human and predator sat in peaceful silence. Two intelligent species beginning to bridge a gap that had once seemed impossibly wide. What had begun as survival was becoming something more profound. a bond that would soon shake the foundations of galactic diplomacy. The rescue team found them 3 weeks after the crash. Alex heard the engines first, the unmistakable whine of military-grade thrusters cutting through the atmosphere. Shadow heard them too, its sensory pits flaring with sudden awareness. "They're here," Kelly shouted, rushing from the cave they now called home. She waved a makeshift flag fashioned from a reflective emergency blanket. Commander Lisa Ward led the rescue operation herself, bringing down 2 heavily armed shuttles into the clearing near their crashed vessel. Soldiers in combat gear poured out, weapons raised, standard procedure for potentially hostile environments. "Lieutenant Palmer," Lisa called through her helmet speaker, "report your status." Alex stepped from the cave entrance, feeling strangely calm despite the tension in the air. "Commander Ward, we're all alive. 4 crew members, no serious injuries." Then Shadow emerged behind him. The response was immediate and predictable. 20 weapons locked onto the Void Fang, targeting lasers creating a constellation of red dots across its dark hide. "Get down, Lieutenant," Lisa shouted. "Void Fang, everyone hold position." Alex did something that would later be described in official reports as either the bravest or most foolish action in recent military history. He stepped directly between the rescue team and Shadow, arms spread wide. "Stand down," he ordered with an authority that surprised even him. "This Void Fang has been keeping us alive for weeks. It's not hostile." The tense standoff lasted nearly a minute. Lisa's expression behind her visor shifted from shock to confusion to cautious curiosity. Slowly, she raised her hand, signaling her team to lower their weapons, though not holster them. "Explain," she said simply. Over the next 3 days, an uneasy coexistence formed between the rescue team and Shadow. Most kept their distance, but a few scientists, led by Dr. Nick Collins, couldn't resist the opportunity to study a Void Fang up close. "This is remarkable," Nick said, reviewing readings from his scanner. "The neural structure isn't centralized like ours. It's distributed throughout the body, almost like a network." Alex nodded. "That's why they're so coordinated. It's also why they communicate differently." "Communication. You've established communication." "Not exactly, but we're getting there." Nick's team set up specialized equipment designed to detect and interpret the subsonic frequencies Shadow used. Progress was slow until Kelly had a breakthrough. "It's not just sound," she explained excitedly. "It's sound combined with micro-movements of those sensory pits. It's a complex language." The first successful translation came on the 4th day. Shadow produced a series of rumbles while facing the distant mountains. The translator speakers crackled. Others. Family. Many. Silence fell over the human camp. "There are more?" Lisa asked, tension returning to her voice. Alex nodded. "A community, I think, but they've never approached us." "Because they're afraid," Nick added, studying new readings. "These patterns suggest anxiety when discussing other humans." That evening, Lisa called Alex to her command tent. Her face was grim. "I've received new orders from Earth Central. They want us to terminate contact and withdraw. The Void Fangs have destroyed too many colonies. The risk is deemed unacceptable." Alex felt a cold anger rising in him. Based on what? Old reports. Misunderstandings. "We have a chance to understand them, Lisa." "I have my orders, Lieutenant." "Those reports never mentioned Void Fangs bringing food to crashed pilots or leading them to shelter," Alex countered. "What if everything we thought we knew was wrong?" Before Lisa could respond, a commotion erupted outside. They rushed from the tent to find Shadow in apparent distress, making urgent gestures toward the forest. Nick's translator picked up fragments. "Coming. Danger. Not friend predators." As if on cue, deep howls echoed from the forest edge. Shadow moved to stand between the humans and the approaching threat. Lisa looked at Alex, then at Shadow, before making a decision that would change history. "Everyone arm up," she ordered. "We stand with our new ally." As the pack of local predators emerged from the forest, humans and Voidfang prepared to fight side by side, a sight unprecedented in the annals of galactic exploration. The first true alliance between species previously thought incompatible was about to be tested in blood and fire. Alex stood before Commander Lisa and her officers, facing their disapproval with quiet determination. Earth Central Command's orders are final, Lisa said, passing him the official transmission. All personnel are to withdraw from the planet immediately. No further contact with Voidfang species is authorized. Alex read the orders twice. After successfully defending the camp against the predator attack, he had hoped for a change in policy. Instead, the higher-ups had doubled down, citing historical attacks and classifying Voidfangs as too dangerous for diplomatic relations. They don't understand what we've discovered, Alex argued. Shadow's people aren't mindless killers. They're intelligent, social beings with their own culture. Lisa shook her head. My hands are tied, Lieutenant. The dropship arrives tomorrow morning. We leave with or without you. That night, Alex made his decision. When dawn broke, he was gone, along with a week's supplies, a portable translator, and basic survey equipment. Shadow had vanished with him. He's gone to find the Voidfang community, Nick told Lisa when she demanded answers. He left this for you. He handed her a recorded message. Alex's voice played from the device. I can't abandon this opportunity. If you must report me as AWOL, I understand. But I believe this is too important to walk away from. I'll return in 5 days with proof the Voidfangs aren't what we've always feared. Lisa slammed her fist on the table. That's stubborn, reckless. She stopped, then looked at Nick. How much do you believe in what he's doing? Enough to go after him, Nick answered without hesitation. She considered this, then nodded slowly. Prepare a small team. 3 volunteers, minimal equipment. I'll lead it myself. 2 days into dense forest, Alex and Shadow reached the foothills of a mountain range. The vegetation had changed, showing signs of deliberate cultivation. This was planted, Alex noted, examining fruit-bearing trees arranged in neat rows. Your people are farmers. Shadow made a gesture of confirmation. The translator picked up. Home near. Careful. First meeting important. They crested a ridge and Alex froze in awe. Below them stretched a valley where dozens of Voidfangs moved among structures built of stone and living plants. Some tended gardens while others worked with tools crafted from local materials. It's a civilization, Alex whispered. As they descended toward the settlement, they were quickly surrounded by adult Voidfangs. Their postures were unmistakably threatening, sensory pits flaring with agitation. Shadow moved protectively in front of Alex, producing complex vibrations that the translator struggled to capture. Human friend. No danger. Helped me. The standoff lasted several tense minutes before an older, scared Voidfang approached. It studied Alex with intense focus before turning to Shadow. The exchange that followed overwhelmed the translator, but the meaning became clear when the elder gestured for Alex to follow. They led him to a circular structure at the center of the settlement. Inside, a shallow pool of luminescent liquid glowed with pulsing light. What is this? Alex asked Shadow. Mindshare, came the translated reply. To know truth. The elder gestured toward the pool, clearly indicating Alex should enter it. Is it safe for humans? Alex asked, eyeing the glowing liquid warily. Shadow's response was uncertain. Never human before. Risk. At that moment, Lisa's team crested the same ridge Alex had earlier. Seeing Alex surrounded by Voidfangs, Lisa raised her weapon instinctively. Hold fire, Nick shouted, grabbing her arm. Look, they're not attacking him. They watched as Alex made his decision. With determined steps, he removed his boots and stepped into the glowing pool. The effect was immediate and overwhelming. Alex gasped as his mind expanded beyond his body, connecting with the collective consciousness of the Voidfangs. Centuries of memories flooded through him. Joy, fear, suffering, and hope. He saw the first contact between Voidfangs and other species, peaceful until misunderstandings led to violence. He felt their pain as hunters targeted them for sport, and their fear as worlds were close to them. Most urgently, he understood their current crisis, a planetary disease slowly killing their homeworld. When Alex emerged from the pool, he collapsed to his knees. Shadow supported him as his mind returned fully to his body. "I understand now," Alex said weakly, looking up at Lisa and the others who had cautiously approached. "Everything we thought we knew about them was wrong. And they need our help as much as we need theirs." The news spread faster than anyone expected. Within days of the first transmission reaching Earth Central Command, every major news network across human space carried the same headline: "Human officer establishes peaceful contact with Voidfangs." Alex sat in the hastily constructed communication center, watching the galactic fallout unfold on multiple screens. Beside him, Shadow observed the images with its sensory pits fully open, absorbing everything. "The Galactic Council has called for an emergency session," Lisa reported, entering the room with a data tablet. "Your testimony is requested. Virtually, of course." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. "When?" "Tomorrow. They're fast-tracking this. Not everyone is happy about our new friends." That was an understatement. 3 major species, the Trillians, Vorax, and Mendari, had already issued formal protests. All 3 had suffered devastating Voidfang attacks on their frontier colonies over the past century. "They don't understand," Alex said quietly. "The attacks were responses to hunting parties that targeted Voidfangs first." The virtual council session was tense from the start. Representatives from 27 spacefaring civilizations gathered in holographic form, their faces and equivalent sensory organs displaying emotions ranging from curiosity to outright hostility. Lieutenant Palmer began, the Trillian ambassador, her translucent skin pulsing with angry red lights. "How can you justify friendly relations with creatures responsible for the deaths of thousands of my people?" Before Alex could answer, murmurs spread through the council as Shadow moved into view of the transmission camera. Several representatives visibly recoiled. "Is that a Voidfang? In your command center?" demanded the Vorax delegate, his armored exoskeleton clicking with agitation. "This is Shadow," Alex said calmly. "My friend and the reason I'm alive today." For the next 2 hours, Alex presented the evidence gathered by Nick's research team. Brain scans showing Voidfang intelligence comparable to humans, recordings of their complex language, images of their settlements, their agriculture, their tools. "What you're seeing isn't a miracle or an exception," Alex explained. "This is who they've always been." The aggressive behavior reported in our historical records was defensive, a response to being hunted and feared. The council seemed unconvinced until Alex played his final recording, footage from his experience in the mind-sharing pool, captured by Nick's medical scanner. The images were fragmentary but powerful. Early Voidfangs helping a crashed alien vessel, followed by those same aliens returning with weapons to hunt them. They were betrayed by the first contact species, Alex said softly, and they've been paying for it ever since. As the session ended without resolution, Lisa approached Alex with a troubled expression. "We have a new problem," she said. "Galaxicorp has filed a claim on this planet. They're sending survey teams to assess the mineral deposits." Alex felt his stomach sink. The rare elements in the mountains, the ones the Voidfangs consider sacred. Exactly. Corporate lawyers are already arguing that non-human territorial claims aren't binding without council recognition. That evening, as Alex explained the situation to Shadow, the Voidfang's reaction surprised him. Instead of anger, the translator captured something close to resignation. "Always this way," came the translation. "New friends, then they take." "Not this time," Alex promised. "I'm going public with everything we know." Using the emergency broadcast channel, technically a violation of protocol, Alex sent a comprehensive data package to every major news outlet in human space. The full Voidfang history, the corporate interests at stake, the deliberate misinformation spread about Voidfang aggression. The response was immediate and divided. Protests erupted on core worlds, with citizens demanding justice for the Voidfangs. Corporate spokespeople dismissed Alex as emotionally compromised and bewitched by an alien predator. As the debate raged across human space, Earth Central Command made their position clear. Lieutenant Alexander Palmer was relieved of duty, effective immediately. All personnel were ordered to withdraw from the planet within 48 hours. "What will you do?" Lisa asked him privately, after delivering the orders. Alex looked at Shadow, then back to her. "What I should have done from the beginning. I'm staying with them. Someone needs to stand between the Voidfangs and whatever comes next." The explosion shook the ground shortly after midnight. Alex bolted upright from his sleep mat in the small hut the Voidfangs had built for him at the edge of their settlement. Shadow was already at the door, sensory pits flaring with alarm. "What was that?" Alex asked, reaching for his boots. The translator picked up Shadow's response. "Bad humans. At the camp." Despite Commander Lisa's orders to withdraw, she and a small team of scientists had remained behind, operating from the original human camp at reduced capacity. They had refused to abandon their research in Alex's cause. Alex and Shadow raced through the forest toward the human encampment. The smell of burning equipment filled the air, and dark smoke rose against the night sky. As they approached, they found chaos. The main laboratory tent was ablaze, and several researchers were treating injuries. "What happened?" Alex demanded, finding Lisa organizing the emergency response. "Sabotage," she answered grimly. "Someone planted explosive devices in the lab and communication center. Most of our research data is destroyed." "Who would do this?" Nick approached, his face streaked with soot. "We caught a glimpse of them escaping. Not military. Corporate uniforms. My guess is Galactic Corp doesn't want evidence of peaceful Voidfangs interfering with their mining claims." As they spoke, one of the medical officers called out in alarm. "Dr. Harris is going into shock. The burn wounds are too severe." Shadow moved forward suddenly, approaching the injured scientist. The medical team tensed, but Lisa held up her hand, telling them to wait. The Voidfang examined the burns covering Dr. Harris' chest and arms, then produced a series of low vibrations. The translator captured fragments. "Can help. Need special plant. In mountains. Shadow knows a treatment," Alex explained. "But we need to get to the mountains quickly." Lisa nodded. "Take our remaining shuttle. It's faster than going on foot." As they prepared to leave, Shadow suddenly collapsed, a dark blue fluid seeping from its side. In the chaos of responding to the explosion, no one had noticed Shadow had been injured, likely caught in the blast, while investigating the area before Alex arrived. "Shadow." Alex knelt beside his friend. "The wound is deep. We need to treat this first." Lisa examined the injury with a medical scanner. "Internal damage to several organ systems. We need advanced medical equipment." "The medical supplies in the shuttle aren't enough," Nick added. "We'd need the regeneration unit from the main ship, but it's restricted technology. Earth Central would never authorize its use on a Voidfang." Alex felt desperation rising within him. Dr. Harris needs the mountain plants to survive, and Shadow needs the regeneration unit. We don't have time for both. "Go." Shadow's words came through the translator. "Save your kind first." Alex made a decision that would change everything. "Nick, take 4 volunteers and get to the mountains." Shadow described the plant. "Find it and bring it back for Harris." "Lisa, I need access to the Odyssey's medical bay." "Alex, that's against direct orders," Lisa warned. "Using restricted tech on a Voidfang could end your career permanently." "My career ended the moment I chose to stay," Alex replied. "Please, Lisa. Shadow has saved countless lives, including mine." After a moment's hesitation, Lisa nodded. I'll authorize emergency evacuation to the Odyssey for medical treatment. I'll claim it's for human casualties only." During the emergency shuttle flight to the orbiting Odyssey, Shadow slipped in and out of consciousness. As they secured the Voidfang to the regeneration unit in the medical bay, something unexpected happened. The neural connection established by the medical equipment created a deeper telepathic link than anything Alex had experienced in the mind-sharing pool. Visions flooded Alex's mind. The complete history of the Voidfangs. He saw them as they once were, guardians of planetary ecosystems, maintaining balance across dozens of worlds. He witnessed their fall from grace after being hunted nearly to extinction. He felt their retreat into isolation and defensive aggression. "You were never predators," Alex whispered as the connection faded. "You were protectors." Shadow's sensory pits focused on Alex with new intensity. The translator captured a single word: finally. As the regeneration unit began its work, alarms sounded throughout the ship. The Odyssey's sensors had detected 3 corporate vessels entering orbit. Galactic had arrived to claim their prize, regardless of who stood in their way. The Galactic vessels descended through the atmosphere with military precision. Each ship carried armed security teams and mining equipment. Everything needed to establish immediate resource extraction operations. Their landing coordinates targeted the richest mineral deposits, directly adjacent to the main Voidfang settlement. Alex stood on a ridge overlooking the landing zone, Shadow by his side. The Voidfang had recovered remarkably quickly thanks to the regeneration unit, though blue scars still marked its side. "They won't listen to reason," Lisa said, joining them with Nick and several other researchers. "Corporate headquarters has declared this a non-negotiable acquisition and authorized their teams to remove any obstacles." "Including us?" Nick asked. "Especially us," Lisa confirmed. "We've been branded as eco-terrorists interfering with legal business operations." Alex watched as the first Galactic ship touched down, its landing struts crushing a carefully tended Voidfang garden. "We won't win this with weapons," he said quietly. "There are too many of them." Shadow made a series of low vibrations. The translator interpreted, "No need for human weapons. We have our ways." Before Alex could ask what this meant, Shadow raised its upper limbs and produced a subsonic call that seemed to vibrate through the ground itself. Within minutes, dozens of Voidfangs emerged from the forest, gathering behind them on the ridge. The elder Voidfang approached, placing one limb on Shadow's shoulder. They exchanged complex communications before the elder turned to Alex. "Long ago, we controlled the balance," came the translated words. "We remember how." As corporate security teams established a perimeter around their ships, a strange change swept through the forest. Plants began to move, vines growing at visible speeds, wrapping around equipment and vehicles. The very ground seemed to shift, becoming unstable beneath the heaviest machinery. "What's happening?" Lisa whispered. "They're communicating with the ecosystem," Alex realized. "The Voidfangs aren't just predators. They're caretakers. They can influence plant growth and animal behavior." The corporate security forces fired warning shots, but their weapons suddenly malfunctioned, power packs draining inexplicably. The Voidfangs had not moved from the ridge. They simply stood, concentrating, their sensory pits pulsing with coordinated effort. Within hours, the corporate expedition was effectively neutralized without a single direct confrontation. Unable to use their equipment or weapons, facing a hostile environment that seemed to actively resist them, the Galactic teams were forced to retreat to their ships. Alex's communicator buzzed with an incoming transmission from Earth. The Galactic Council had convened an emergency session after receiving the live feeds Nick had been broadcasting throughout the standoff. Lieutenant Palmer, the human representative, addressed him formally, despite his discharged status. "The Council has reviewed all evidence regarding the Voidfang situation. Based on demonstrated intelligence, social structure, and the nonviolent defense of their territory, they have granted provisional sentient species status to the Voidfangs, with all protections that status entails. A cheer went up from the research team. Alex looked at Shadow, whose sensory pits were pulsing with what he now recognized as joy. 6 months later, Alex stood on the same ridge, watching as the first official human Voidfang cultural exchange program commenced. 20 human volunteers were being welcomed into the Voidfang settlement, while 5 young Voidfangs prepared to journey to Earth as diplomatic representatives. "Did you ever imagine this would be possible?" Lissa asked, now serving as the program's director. "Not when I was running for my life from what I thought was just a mindless predator," Alex admitted. Shadow approached, wearing the newly designed translator band that allowed for more nuanced communication. "Other species are asking to visit now. The Mendari sent message yesterday. One step at a time," Alex smiled. "Some wounds take generations to heal." As the sun set over the mountains, Alex and Shadow moved away from the bustle of the program orientation. They found a quiet spot overlooking both the human research base and the Voidfang settlement, now connected by a well-worn path.